با آقای خراسانی بزرگوار امید است همین پیامشان را بنیادهای مدافع حقوق بشر اگر امکان داشته باشند به زبان آلمانی و هر زبانی را که دوست دارند سخن بگویند. بفرمایید خراسانی سے بزرگوار.
درود و سلام خدمت شما جناب فروتن صاحب، وایدی صاحب، و آقای بختیار و استاد شیوای گرامی نوابزاده صاحب و دوست ما امپراتور که امپراتوریش در کجاست رایخش، و درود میفرستیم برای شاهدایی که در کوپایه های هندوکش جانهای شیرین خود از دست دادن و به شهادت رسیدن به خاطر حفظ فرهنگ، حفظ ناموس، حفظ جغرافیا و حفظ کشور ما. و میاییم سر از این مسئله. ما امیر اگه اجازه تان باشه با آلمانی چند چیز همینجا شارت نوت کردیم. امیر
خوب است، بفرمایید.
Wir reden jetzt über die Menschenrechte in Afghanistan. Die Menschenrechte in Afghanistan sind stark eingeschränkt. Wieso eingeschränkt? Seit wann eingeschränkt? Das ist seitdem die Taliban wieder ins Macht gekehrt ist, wieder in Macht angekommen sind. Seitdem hier ist die Menschenrechte in Afghanistan sehr eingeschränkt. Das ist egal, ob das eine Frau Aktivist ist oder ein Mann Aktivist ist. Vor jeder in Afghanistan ist eingeschränkt worden. Wir kommen tatsächlich direkt gezielt an Herrn Koistani. Der Herr Javid Koistani, er war ein General, er ist ein Rentner jetzt. Aktuell er ist ein Rentner, er hat mit Politik mit so nichts zu tun und er ist auch gegen niemand. Er ist ein Menschenrechtsaktivist gewesen, ein politischer Aktivist gewesen in Afghanistan. Natürlich, er hat seine Sicht, das nicht passt an die Taliban. Und die Taliban deswegen hat ihn seit paar Tagen in Gefangenschaft genommen. Und obwohl seine Gesundheitssituation ist nicht so gut, seine Gesundheitssituation ist sehr schlecht sogar und er leidet unter Krankheiten und so und er braucht dringend medizinische Hilfe. Und wir bieten unsere Bitte ist nicht an die Taliban, sondern an die Menschenrechtsaktivisten, Organisationen in Europa, Amerika und an der ganzen Welt. Dass die sollen sich kümmern, dass die Menschenrechte in Afghanistan auch stattfindet und die bekommen Hilfe und dann die sollen auch Macht üben an die Taliban, die sollen seine Gegner oder Gegnerinnen freilassen. Sofort und ohne Bedingung. Wir verlangen von den Menschenrechtsorganisationen, dass die sollen sich kümmern, dass die Menschenrechte in Afghanistan nicht so verletzt, dass keiner seine Meinung äußern kann. So wie jetzt. In Afghanistan niemand kann seine Meinung äußern, egal ob das eine Frau ist oder ein Mann oder der aktiv ist, junges, altes, welche Altersgruppe, das spielt keine Rolle. Wenn Sie sehen, dass Herr Koistani, er war ein Rentner. Er ist ein Rentner und er war mal General gewesen. Er ist momentan eine normale Zivilperson gewesen. Er ist Zivilrechtler. Und deswegen, trotz allem, die Taliban hat ihn im Gefangen genommen und Gefängnis gebracht. Warum? Wir gehen davon aus, dass seine Rede vor dem Taliban-Regime, also während in Afghanistan die Demokratie war, die 20 Jahre. Er hat damals sich mal geäußert, über die Taliban gesprochen, was Taliban sind und von wo bekommen sie Hilfe und so weiter. Aber im Moment, seit 3 Jahren oder so, was die Taliban in Macht ist, er war wirklich nicht aktiv. Und er war gar nicht aktiv, er hat sich gekümmert um seine Gesundheitssituation und seine Familie und so. Er war wie ein normaler Bürger. Aber trotz allem, die Taliban hat ihm irgendwie Punishment oder irgendwie hat Taliban ihm in Gefängnis gebracht. Und das ist nicht akzeptabel. Und wir bitten an die UNO, an die UNEMA in Afghanistan, bitte kümmern Sie sich darum, dass der Herr Javid Koistani und auch die anderen Aktivisten, die momentan in Gefangenschaft sind in Afghanistan, bedingungslos zu befreien. Und ich bedanke mich herzlich für die Leute, die momentan zuhören und auch ich bedanke mich bei der UNO und bei den Human Rights Organisationen, bei der UNEMA in Afghanistan im Voraus für sein Engagement, dass die Javid Koistani bald freikommt und bald zu seiner Familie zurückkehrt. Dankeschön. آقای فروتن تشکر از اینکه برای ما وقت دادی. همین گپای ما بود که زدم.
سپاس آقای امی جاوید کوهستانی را به نظر شما طالب به کدام جرم روانه زندان کردن؟ یک آدمی که بی‌طرف است، در نظام جمهوریت هم کدام پست یا موقف دولتی نداشت، ولی متاسفانه حال زندانی است.
فروتن صاحب درود سلام مجدد. ما به من تلفن آمد پایین رفتم. اگه این دفعه اجازه تون باشه همین گپایی رو که پیشتر گفتم شبیه از این به انگلیسی بگویم.
خیلی عالی میشم.
آقای نوابزاده صاحب هم هست و آقای غوری صاحب هم خب اونورده در آمریکا شاید انگلیسیشان از من کردم خیلی خیلی خوب است، ولی بازم من کوشش میکنم خوب بگویم. I'm calling from this tribune, from this mic today on the whole world, on the Human Rights Association, Human Rights Organization of the German country, Germany, European countries, England, US, everybody who's giving support and help the Taliban weekly about $80 million, which is our money. This is our taxpayer. We are working here and we pay the tax, and this tax money goes to the terrorist group of the Taliban. And I'm calling to the whole world, please stop helping the Taliban, and please help all the people in Afghanistan who's suffering under the regime, under the terror group of the Taliban. And Mr. Koistani, Javid Koistani, he is a pensioner. He is a rentner in German and a pensioner, and he is not working now. He was at home since 3 years. 3 years when the Taliban come back to the power, he wasn't at home and he didn't do anything against the Taliban. And he's just a normal person. He wants to live in Afghanistan with his family, but the Taliban put him in prison because he talked before the Taliban come to the power. He had his opinion about the Taliban. But since then, he's not. And this is against the all human right. Mr. Koistani is now sick. He needs medical help. And he is in a serious condition. His health is in a very serious condition. He needs help. And please, for the whole Human Rights Association, to be voice of Mr. Koistani and to help Mr. Koistani to become free, against release him and go back to his family and healthy. Not when he is in a very bad situation, then it doesn't help. But now we want from all the Human Rights Association organization of the European, German, American, please help Mr. Koistani and please be voice of Mr. Koistani, Javid Koistani, and all other prisoner in Afghanistan which is suffering under the Taliban regime, the woman and the woman and also the man who is in the prison. Please help them, especially Mr. Koistani, because he is now in a very critical health situation. This is and also I'm calling to the on the U.S. government, on the German government, on the U.S. European governments. Please don't forget the Taliban. Taliban are this person who is cooperating with the Al Qaeda, with the all other terrorist group in Afghanistan. And remember our national health, the superhero, the late Ahmad Shah Massoud. And he was the Afghan national hero, and he came to the Paris and he urged the world to be very careful about the Taliban. And what happened? It came the 9/11. And now we are urging you, we are calling on the government of the European and also on the US government. Please be aware that similar thing, similar of the 9/11 will be happen again. If you leave the Taliban just like that and close your eyes, what are they doing in Afghanistan? What are they're doing in Afghanistan, and with whom? Which terrorist groups they are dealing with, like Al Qaeda, like all other terrorist groups in Afghanistan. So you cannot divide Taliban from Al-Qaeda, you cannot divide Taliban from the ISIS, you cannot not divide Taliban from all the terrorist groups. They have the same minds, they have the same opinion, they have the same goals, and the goals they just want to fight against the Western and against our people in Afghanistan. Our people in Afghanistan, we are Muslims, but we are not fanatica. We are Muslim, but we are not terrorists. Yeah? So that's why when you close your eyes and now dealing with the Taliban and sending money, $80 million per week, so they're getting more stronger. And so please stop this helps and please take care of the human rights in Afghanistan. And we need it. We need the human rights in Afghanistan to be there. And we need also free minds. We need these free minds. We need to talk about this situation in Afghanistan. Anybody in Afghanistan who just one sentence is against our situation in Afghanistan, which is economical, which is political, which is about religion, which is about whatever happened in Afghanistan, they will catch him and put him in the prison. That's not the solution. That's not the solution when the Taliban regime or the Taliban terror group put the people in the prisons and torturing the people. They are torturing really the people. The people are suffering. So this is not the solution. The solution is peace. We need peace in Afghanistan. We are not born in Afghanistan to be die. We are not born in Afghanistan to be shaheed, called shaheed. We have the same right as every human in this world. But why the world is now ignoring Afghanistan? Because Afghanistan, human has been suffering since almost more than 40 years, 45 years. We fight against the Russian in Afghanistan. We fight against the biggest enemy of the Western countries, which was Russia. We fight against them. At that time you help us, but after that you forgot us. That's not the right things which is the US government or the European or the Western government doing with us. We need help in Afghanistan. We need a democratic country, a democratic Afghanistan. We don't need a proxy war in Afghanistan. The Afghan people, the people who live in Afghanistan, they are suffering. The proxy wars. We won't be part of the proxy wars in Afghanistan. We want to be free. We want to be like every human in this world. Why should we help the terrorists? Why should the terrorists come to our country? Why should the Al-Qaeda take place, a safe haven in Afghanistan? Why should the ISIS take safe haven in Afghanistan? We don't need them. We need all Afghans together, which is the Tajik, the Pashtun, and the Hazara, Uzbek, all ethnic. Afghanistan is from more ethnicity country. So we are against any kind of terror, against any kind of act of terror in Afghanistan. Our late superhero, the national hero Ahmad Shah Massoud, he told we need Afghanistan to be free, democratic. We want to go for the election. We need a fair election in Afghanistan, which is the Taliban forbidding. Please help us to do this in Afghanistan, and we need a government which comes through elected from the nation, not from the terrorists. Taliban are a terrorist group, and they're not friend with no one. And I'm urging here, I'm calling on one more time to the US and to all European countries. Please listen to our voice. Please listen to the Afghan woman voice. Please listen to the all Afghan men and women and children who are suffering now under the Taliban regime, under the Taliban government regime, which is a terrorist regime in Afghanistan. They are torturing women, they are torturing children, they are torturing human rights activists, they are torturing political activists, they are torturing everybody. Anybody who open their mouths and talk some sentences about the Afghanistan, they will be kidnapped and put in the prison, and there will be torture. Everybody who come out of the Taliban prison, they lost their mind, they lost their sense. They are very in critical situation. I visit here in Germany, many of them, like the Ustad one of the person who sell the books in Afghanistan, and they close his university, they close his school. I think his name is Ismail, and Mr. Ismail, he is also a Pashtun man. But he sell the book and so in Afghanistan, and they put them in the prison. Now he lives in Germany with a very critical health situation. So everybody who's going in the Taliban prison come out, they have problems. Please help the human rights in Afghanistan, because the Afghan people are not burned. In Afghanistan, we are different ethnicity people. There are Tajik, Pashtun, Uzbek, Hazara, everybody. We are not born there to be dying, to be called Shaheed. We just burn like every other people. Our blood is also red color. We don't have black color. We don't have blue color or white color. Our blood is like the same as your blood. It's red. We need to be treated like a human being in Afghanistan. Why you're helping this terrorist group? Please stop this terrorist group helping the terrorist group. And please help the Mr. Javid Koistani, and like him, all other people who is in the prisons in Afghanistan, because they are innocent. Mr. Javid Koistani is an innocent person. He has done nothing. He is just a pensioner man. He's old man. He's not very young like before. He was a general, but now he's not. Thank you very much. I hope everybody listened to me, and everybody just publish this videos and as soon as possible, and as long as possible, as much as possible. They should be heard from the all European and the American or the British or whoever can put pressure on the Taliban to be released all prisoner, Gefangenschaft, everybody. Yeah, thank you very much.
سپاس از آقای خراسانی بزرگوار. آقای وردک شیرزاد هم به برنامه خوش آمدید میگیم. نوبت از آقای نوابزاده است. بعد از شیرزاد هم در مورد دستگیر کردن جنرال سید جاوید کوهستانی با جرم یکی از جنرالای اسبق نظام گذشته، از اینکه ایشان در نظام جمهوریت هم کدام مسئولیتی نداشت، در حد یک تحلیلگر مسائل سیاسی بی‌طرفانه در بحث رسانه‌های تصویری و سرزمین حضور پیدا میکرد. متاسفانه طالب ایشان را روانه زندان کردن. مریض هم است. ما هدف از این برنامه تظاهر برای طالب نیست. برای یک ایده که پایین برنامه میگین که گویا تظاهر میکنین، تظاهر برای طالب نیست، فقط برای نهادهای مدافع حقوق بشر، برای او آدرس هایی که برای طالب نان میتن، هفته 40 میلیون دلار برش میتن. پیام ما این است که این مرد مظلوم و بیچاره را که مثل از هزاران تن در زندان طالب است و صدایشان رسیدگی شود، و صفت یک انسان که حق و حقوقشان صدمه دیده روانه زندان شدن، بیگناه هستند، از چنگال ظالمان به نام طالب نجات بدن. آقای نوابزاده از شما میشنویم، بعد از آقای وردک شیرزاد.
تشکر فروتن عزیز. من میخوایم که خراسانی صاحب یک چند نقاط تعجب کردم که بعض نقاط اظهار داشت به انگلیسی، میخواستم امروز یک بحث داشته باشم. ببینید من بازم سرگپ خود استاد هستم. من نمیخوایم توقع از فعالین و یا از سازمان‌های بشری داشته باشم. Mr. Khorasani, I would like to talk about something which is you already mentioned about the solution. And I think the solution which is you mentioned to the colleague or the organization, that is mess, I think so. Because you call we are Afghan, so there is in Afghanistan, it is not all Afghan people. That is very important things which is we already mentioned about several times in several platforms, which is there is in Afghanistan, but we are not all Afghan. The second thing, you call help from an organization. Which kind of help you want? The organization or the countries such as European Union and other countries, they are just blying that country. You know that? The main thing is, which is the solution to separate us. It is the main thing. Let's talk about that. Because of the historical of that country, which is you can look, there is nearly no solution, which is you are already mentioned about that. So please, which is we already explained it in different sector, in different or method of the languages. We are not all together. We are all, our mind is separated time 1,000 years ago. So why we are saying, okay, we are all Afghan people, or we are saying people, oh, please help us. They will not help us, believe me. Because if you can already mention about $8 million per week, so what's the meaning of that? So do not push them to come back here to help us in different section of the terrorists, with the terrorist groups. The main thing, which is the solution, is let's talk about our sections. So first of all, the Persian people or the Afghan people, to separate it, to become, might be some people, they just want to Amarat population or Amarat sections. Some of them, they just want a democratic. So if someone is need democratic, so why we are saying all we are together? We are not. So please be fixed kind of sections of your words to be understood. All the people of the world, what we are doing, and because of what we are saving or passing over time in the different platform. Thank you.
خراسانی پرسش‌های آقای نوابزاده از شما بود. شما میتونین وضاحت بدین، بعد از آقای شیرزاد میشنویم.
First of all, greeting to the Mr. Wardak that he's here. But secondly, I must say to Mr. Nawabzada, I didn't say we are Afghan. I say in Afghanistan is different ethnicity. It means we have different people in Afghanistan. They're Tajik ethnic, Pashtun ethnic, and Hazara, and so. And my point of view, I respect for all people in Afghanistan, which is Pashtun, Uzbek, Hazara, Tajik, Baluch, Aimak, Jugi, everyone. And I ask the European government to help us to bring a situation in Afghanistan that we can easily and freely go to election, to a free election. And then after we go to the election, we elect our government, which is a really democratic government, then we can talk about this situation, who is the majority and minority. But now, in Afghanistan, I'm telling you one thing, Mr. Nawabzada, I respect your point of view, but in Afghanistan, since many years, there is Afghan, there's Tajik, there is, Pashtun, Tajik, Uzbek, Hazara. Nobody can push anybody from the country. Okay, we are not friends, we have problems, we have a lot of problems in our country, but we cannot pull them out. If it was possible, it could happen like 100 years back when the Abdurrahman Khan tried to pull out the Hazara group from Afghanistan. But he was unable to pull them out. He killed them, a lot of them, yeah? But he was unable to finish them. Why? Because now you see there's a lot of Hazara. At that time, the Hazara had no weapon, no Kalashnikov, no rocket launcher, no nothing. And also the Hazara has not pen. But today the Hazara is very strong community in Afghanistan and very strong. Yeah? And they have everything. And the Tajik, which is really the Pashtun, was on the top on the government, but Tajik was always there. To be honest, Tajik was always there, and the Tajik were in the government. Not in the first position like king, there was kingdom, but there was a lot of Tajik who the king asked their for their opinion. And the Tajik was very strong. And Tajik has today more stronger than before. We have in the history like Maulana Balkhi, we have Ibn Sina Balkhi, we have Ghuris, we have from Herat, these cultural things. You cannot demolish all the cultural things of Tajik. Or the Persian, the Farsi speaker. We are the Farsi speaker in Afghanistan. And this is very big community, the majority. We say we are majority and the Pashtuns say they are majority. But we show them who is the majority in the last 3 elections in Afghanistan. We vote for the wrong person. We wrote for Mr. Dr. Abdullah. He couldn't define our votes. But if there is a really election in Afghanistan, a free election in Afghanistan, then we will see who is the majority and who is the minority. I'm talking about that, Mr. Abdullah. Because in Afghanistan, okay, we respect the Pashtuns, we respect every ethnicity in Afghanistan. We have to find a solution that everybody should live in that country freely. That's not the solution that we go to war. How long should we war? We are fighting about 50 years. We are now fighting still. We are doing our resistance against the Taliban, but we are not fighting against the Pashtuns. We are fighting against the terror group of the Taliban. And there is also some Pashtuns who doesn't like the Taliban. Like you, Mr. Nawabzada, you don't like the Taliban. You are from the Pashtun ethnic. So there are some Pashtuns who really doesn't like the Taliban.
But I can
But
see
we are
something
not
from
against the
your
Pashtuns.
family.
We are against the terror group. Thank you.
دوستای